Hey and welcome back to my channel. My name is Esther and I make videos about dating, sexuality, body positivity, self-development and other like taboo topics that people don't really want to talk about. So in today's video I am gonna talk about my first kiss. So yeah, I don't think it's a secret that I've been kind of late compared to the average person with most sexual things. So my first kiss, I didn't have my first kiss until I was 23. So let's get into it. It was bad, pretty bad. So yeah, let's go. So I matched with this guy on Bumble. We talked for a while. We went on a first date. We went to like a museum and we grabbed some food and stuff. Lasted for like 3 or 4 hours. Was good. He seemed nice. He seemed great. So all good. Then for our second date, we were supposed to go to the beach on the weekend. But at the time I didn't have a car. So that would have involved him picking me up, driving there with him and all of that. Which I was fine with, and then we kind of spontaneously decided to meet up on like the Wednesday, like in between, to go for ice cream. And let me tell you, I am very glad I did, because it would have been a disaster if I would have gone to the beach with this guy and be stuck in the car with him and be stuck there with him. So yeah, so we ended up going for ice cream. Everything still seemed fine. He picked me up at my house, which I normally never do, especially like not on the first date, but because we already had our first date and he seemed like a decent, great guy, I was like, okay, you can pick me up. So he picked me up at my house. We went to get ice cream and then we kind of walked around, and then, I'm sorry, I'm really hot. It's like 36 degrees outside, and when I'm filming, I can't have my fan on and I don't have air conditioning, and I have to have the window shut because of the noise outside. So it gets a bit like a sauna in here. Anyway, so we went to get ice cream and then we just kind of walked around. We sat down like near the water, just talking, and everything seemed to be fine. But then it got a bit weird. So we're just talking and then he goes like, oh, you're the kind of person my parents would want me to marry, and my dad would love you. And I'm like, I've known you for like, we've seen each other in person for like maybe 4 hours, like chill. So I was a little bit like taken aback by that. Then he started talking about his ex-girlfriend, which is, I don't say that's necessarily bad, but the way he went about it was not great. So he was telling me that she was American, so we're in Australia, so she was American, and they really liked each other, and then she went back to America. They did long distance for a while, and then he found out that she cheated on him. Mind you, they broke up 3 years before I went on this date with this guy, before I met him. And he says, yeah, so we did long distance for a while and then she cheated on me, so we broke up, and I really hope she dies. And I'm like, alarm bells going off, and I'm like, oh my god. And then he starts talking about how he wants to buy a house before getting married. And I'm like, whoa, whoa. And so we were sitting, and this is the moment where he decided this was the right timing to kiss me. So the problem was, we were sitting on the grass, and I was kind of like leaning on my hands, and he was sitting next to me. So what he does, he kind of like grabs my face, starts like making out with me. His tongue is everywhere. His saliva is everywhere. His tongue was like here, not even in my mouth. Like his tongue was everywhere. And I was just like, oh my god. Like I wasn't even really kissing him back. I was just like, but I couldn't move my head away because he was holding my face and I was leaning on my arm, so I couldn't like turn away. So I was just like, oh god, oh god. And yeah, so that was not great. He didn't know this was my first kiss, which I don't really care that he knew or didn't know. Anyways, yeah, so that was pretty much my first kiss. And then I was like, oh my god, I need to get out of here. But then, you know, in my head, I'm like, okay, this guy must be a psycho. He wants his ex-girlfriend to die. They've broken up 3 years ago. Like, okay, safety precautions. So I'm like being really nice to this guy. And I'm like, okay, I think I need to go home. I had an exam the next morning, which he knew. So I kind of used that as an excuse to like, I need to go, like I need to finish studying. So he drove me home. Of course, tried to kiss me again. And I kind of like just turned away and it got a bit awkward. I get home and then, I don't know, around midnight or something, he sends me a message and he's like, I really enjoyed kissing you. And I was like, So I didn't even reply at that point. I probably brushed my teeth like 4 times and I still felt like throwing up after that. It was not good. And then, so then I was like, okay, I need to be strategic about this, like breaking it to this guy that I'm not interested, because he now knows where I live and he might be a little bit of a psycho. So I sent him this really nice message the next morning and I'm like, sure, you're like a nice guy, but I just don't feel the chemistry and I don't think we should go to the beach on the weekends. I wish you all the best. Just don't want to string you along. Bye. And then he sent back something like, oh, thanks for your honesty. That was it. And luckily, I've never seen or heard of him again. But yeah, luckily we did this midweek spontaneous date, because otherwise I would have been stuck. So the beach would be like an hour and a half, 2-hour drive each way. So I would have been stuck in the car with this guy. So I'm glad that didn't happen. But yeah, so that was my first kiss. It wasn't great. And then I remember Skyping with my friends like the next day or like a few days later, and I was like telling her about it and she was like, but how do you know it was bad? Because you don't have any reference point. I'm like, because I felt like throwing up still 4 hours later. Like, that's not good. And she's like, yeah, it wasn't like that for me. I'm like, yeah, see? So, yeah, that happens. And then I only kissed like one other person after that. And it was like a similar situation. Like the guy was really clingy. I wasn't really into it. And it wasn't great. It wasn't as horrible as that. It was mwah. But yeah, that was like 2 years ago. So I'm possibly slightly scarred. But yeah, so that was my first kiss story. We'd love to hear your stories in the comments below. And if you like this video, please leave a comment, give it a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you want to keep up to date with all my videos. So every Friday I'm trying to upload like a sexy Friday video. And then if I have any extra videos, they'll go up on Tuesdays. So I hope to see you next time and have a great day. Bye!